A covering index is one of the coolest database optimization tricks you probably never noticed until your queries suddenly become way faster. Imagine you own a library with 1 million books. If someone asks for Harry Potter, you could check every shelf until you find the book. Doing so is called a full table scan. Many libraries have alphabetical sorting, allowing you to look up the title first, find the shelf number, and grab the book. That's how indexes work, and that's exactly why creating an index on a column after a word clause makes a query so much faster. At the same time, because no single index is best for every type of data or query, there are many types of indexes. Different indexes are optimized for different access patterns, just like different tools are designed for different jobs. The most common type of index is a B-tree index, where values are kept in a sorted order. When such an index is in use, instead of searching through every row in a table, the database quickly narrows down where the value should be, making searches much faster. A covering index is a type of a B-tree index that happens to include all of the columns needed for a query to execute. In other words, the database can get everything it needs directly from the index without having to look up the actual row in the table. A covering index is in use when we create an index that includes all of the columns a query needs, and when a covering index is in use, the database only reads the index, skipping the data in the table, making the query much faster. For example, let's say we have an employees table with columns ID, name, and department. If we often run this query, a B-tree index in the department column would help find the right employees, but the database would still need to go back to the table to fetch their names. If we create a covering index, we will force the database to have both the department and the name inside of the index, and thus, when we run the same query again, the results will be returned immediately because the database will not access the disk. Covering indexes would be especially useful when you work with big data projects and have the same type of queries that execute frequently, for example in search queries or dashboards that constantly fetch something from the database. Covering indexes may be excellent for big data search engines and other projects, but at the same time remember that any index is not a magic wand and it will occupy storage space and make insert, update, and delete queries slower.